Welcome once again to Lehto's Law. Here's Steve Lehto.
Joe sent me a great story out of Australia, and from watoday.com.au, and Tom Cowie wrote it. We are the sisterhood. Man sues ex-girlfriends after they sent damaging letter to his new fiancee. And this is complicated. It's not the kind of thing you hear about popping up at court from time to time, but these kinds of stories are not that uncommon. In fact, it's kind of happened to me. But in many respects, this man is my hero. So work with me on this one. A banking IT consultant is suing 3 ex-girlfriends for defamation after they allegedly banded together and contacted his fiancée, telling her to leave him. A Victorian County Court trial in May will decide if the man was defamed by his former partner after she allegedly destroyed his reputation and caused a split with his affluent new in-laws. So the guy had dated a couple women, then he met somebody, they got engaged, and the women he dated previously got together and contacted the fiancé and said, hey, that guy's a rat. That guy's a rat. So in the letter, the woman and the 2 other exes allegedly warned the new woman that the man was violent and a cheater. Now, here's the thing. If the guy's violent, that's one thing. If he's a cheater, it's another thing. And if he's just not a nice guy, I suppose that'd be a third thing. Court documents filed in the case also accuse the man of spending money on drugs at his workplace and juggling relationships with multiple women while claiming to be monogamous. It's unclear how that kind of information would get before the court because, for instance, juggling relationships is not exactly a crime. Now, the man denies the allegations and says they are defamatory. So according to his statement of claim, the man and the woman who he says defamed him were in a long-distance relationship before moving in together and having a child in 2014. After that relationship ended in 2015, court documents state that the man briefly dated 2 other women that he met on the internet. The man claims both were casual relationships. 2 years later, the woman who apparently had the child with him and the 2 other ex-girlfriends somehow got together, and that's not good, and hand-delivered a single-paged typed letter to the man's new partner that he was, in fact, engaged to. The letter says, we are the sisterhood. Court documents show the women cautioned the fiancé against dating the man because he was, quote, dangerous. It sounds like they've watched too many movies lately where there's all these comic book heroes. The sisterhood. The man, of course, denies the allegations. And the letter says, we have tried to speak to you to warn you about him so many times. He is dangerous and violent and a sex addict. He goes to Sydney and he cheats on you, the letter stated, according to court documents. And so that's a new allegation. They seem to have some kind of belief or knowledge that he cheats on his fiancée. Do they have such knowledge? They then said, we are the sisterhood. We have to expose him. He will take all your money. He has to be stopped. Now, taking the money is another allegation. They keep adding new allegations here. You must contact us so we can protect you from this evil person. We all want to help you. We are in Melbourne together, so please meet with us. As well as the letter, the woman is accused of sending a defamatory legal document to the man's future sister-in-law, who showed it to her husband, who is a luxury car dealer. The man claims the relationship with his in-laws was subsequently damaged beyond repair and that family events were now celebrated separately. Several instances of the man's alleged behavior are detailed in the woman's defense documents filed with the court to substantiate the letter and the legal document. Among them are serious allegations of criminal behavior, violence, as well as deceptions of women that he was dating. Again, now you'll notice the sentence begins, serious allegations of criminal behavior, and lumped in there is deceptions of women he was dating. In Australia maybe, but not in America. So those allegations include saying that he was in a monogamous relationship when he wasn't, and declaring his undying love to several women simultaneously. And I assume simultaneously don't literally mean at the exact same time, like he's got 3 women, I love you, I love you, I love you. I assume they mean generally the time period. But then again, this guy might be a real A real Casanova, as they say. Allegations of the man using drugs and spending money on drugs and being disciplined at work were also outlined. Records of a drug rehab facility have been subpoenaed as part of the trial. In his statement of claim, the man lists his profession as an IT consultant in the banking industry. He currently works for NAB after previously being employed by ANZ. That's according to the Victoria Police and IBM. The man has a reputation for integrity of the highest order and being ethical, according to his statement of claim. He originally filed his defamation suit against all three women. However, the matter will proceed against the woman as the only defendant. So I guess she's the signatory of the letter. And when she speaks for the sisterhood, apparently the sisterhood might not want to get dragged into court with her. He claims the letter was actuated by malice, which, if proven, can be used in court to defeat several defenses against defamation. It was clearly the intention of the defendant to attempt to break the relationship up, the court documents state. Now, she has denied that she sent the letter. However, the court finds she did. She will rely on a truth defense. So here's one of these things. Courts will often let you plead alternative defenses. I didn't do it, but if I did, here's my reason why. And a lot of people who aren't attorneys look at that and go, that's crazy. Well, just to let you know, a lot of people who are attorneys will also tell you it's crazy. Because if you do that in front of a jury looks at you, your client, everybody goes, okay, they obviously did it. Otherwise, they wouldn't say we didn't do it, but if we did, blah, 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 blah. So when she says, I didn't send the letter, but if I did. So the man is seeking aggravated damages as well as an injunction preventing the further publication of any claims. So aggravated damages, I'm assuming, means that he's looking for punitive damages on top of actual damages. Lawyers for both parties have declined to comment. This is set for an 8-day trial in May of this year, May 17th. And the letter says, again, we are the sisterhood. We're here to protect you from this man. Therefore, we've contacted you out of the blue to tell you what's so bad about him. And I'm going to tell you a story. Now, I don't often talk about real personal stuff on this channel. And some people often say, Steve, why don't you? It might be entertaining. Well, if I've got entertaining stories that tie in, I'll tell them to you. And I can tell you that, it's been a while since I was, say, in high school, okay? It's been a while since I was in law school. And I have dated in my life a couple different women, shall we say. And I can tell you that in my experience, I have had 2 different women that I dated contact a woman I was dating and say, you need to stop dating him. He's a bad guy. About me. 2 different women. Now, here's the thing. There's a lot of guys in the audience right now are saying, yeah, it's happened to me too. This is a play in the playbook. This is like page 3 that follows, what to do after you break up. Have you considered contacting his new girlfriend and telling her that he's a rat? Have you considered that? It depends on the time frame. You could contact them by Pony Express. You could contact them by Telegram. You could contact them by Marconi Wireless, or you could contact them by the old hoot and holler telephone, or nowadays, internet, or possibly good old-fashioned analog mail. You contact him and you say, he's a rat. He's a rat. Let me tell you why he's a rat. Now, here's why I jokingly said earlier, this man's my hero. Because he's got 3 women who are upset enough to contact the woman he's engaged to say, you need to get away from this man. Because I'm assuming human nature is similar enough to even in Australia. What I'm about to say is probably true. In both cases where I had a woman that I had dated, and then she contacted my new date and said, he's a rat, both of them had contacted me first and said, can we get back together again? So the timeline goes like this. Boy meets girl. Boy breaks up with girl. Girl asks boy, can we get back together again? Boy says no. Boy starts dating another girl. Boy meets girl number 2. Ex-girlfriend contacts new girl and says he's a rat. But remember, she did that after asking if we could get back together again. So in both cases I'm thinking of in my life, that's what happened. So I'm such a rat that they want to get back together again with me. And when they find out they can't do that, then they go contact the new girlfriend and say, hey, he's a rat. So I'm willing to bet you that of these 3 women of the sisterhood, I would love to know how many of them, if not all, had contacted him after he broke up with them to say, can we get back together again? Please? Can we? I'd bet money that at least 2 of them did. I would. Now, I don't know anything about the story. I just know what I read about from WA Today, which I'm guessing is Western Australia Today. But I could be wrong about that. But I'm guessing, if I had to guess, just odds, I'm willing to bet you that 2 out of 3 at least contacted him and said, can we get back together again, please? And then when that didn't work out, they then got angry and formed the sisterhood and, compared what kind of costumes they're going to wear when they're out fighting crime and where their secret lair is going to be and whether they're ever going to date men again or what. But it's a crazy story. But you might ask, Steve, what would happen in America if let's suppose that one of those women, after you got engaged, contacted your fiance and managed to break up your relationship? Is there anything you could do about that? It depends what state you're in, but there are a bunch of things you can do. The defamation certainly would be one of them. If she made any false statements about you, boom, defamation. But also, in some states they have a thing called intentional infliction of emotional distress. That is where somebody does something that's just outrageous in an attempt to hurt you. And most people would look at a situation like this and go, why is she doing this again? Because most people, knowing human nature, would know that this happens a lot where there's disgruntled exes out there. And most of them just go away. And for them to be hounding him later and trying, the letter intent, it actually says, we're trying to warn you so you can get away from this guy. They're trying to break up his engagement. They're trying to do that. Is that a legitimate purpose for you to get up in the morning and go, I'm going to go break up that person's engagement? It's not. So that'd be a good one to use, at least in America. Intentional infliction of emotional distress. But we'll see what happens. The guy's got a case. It's going to trial in May. But we are the sisterhood. Man sues after ex-girlfriend sent damaging letter to new fiancé by Tom Cowie from watoday.com.au. Joe sent it. Thanks a lot. Questions or comments, put them below. Let's talk to you later. Bye-bye.
Thank you for watching Lehto's Law. If a cluttered desk is the sign of a cluttered mind, what is the meaning of a clean desk?